Yeah, we have Saba's Mediterranean Cuisine. We love it when he comes in. You're so much fun to have here on the show, and I know that a lot of people from Sonoran Living George have been going in to see you guys and say hi and watch you do the whole flaming trick that you do.
Oh yeah, we do our saganaki or flaming baklava.
We're learning a lot when you come in. We ask you a lot of questions all the time. One I think we're going to talk about is the difference between the baba Ghanoush and the hummus.
Oh yeah, well they're both very similar and both have all the same ingredients other than the main ingredient, which hummus would be made out of garbanzo beans.
Right.
And baba Ghanoush is made with roasted eggplant. So it's a different texture, it's a different flavor, it adds a smokiness to it.
But it looks the same.
It looks very similar. It's going to have a little different tint and color, but it's you know, it's very similar in look, but the flavor and the texture of it is completely different.
Well, I can't wait to try it, but first we need to get some stuff started in the kitchen because we are making a braised lamb shank with a zesty tomato sauce.
Yes.
We're working with the lamb today.
Oh yeah, first we're going to start off. I have a nice Shank of Lamb.
It looks beautiful.
This is actually from New Zealand. The difference between lamb and mutton would be basically mutton.
Did you say mutt or mutton?
Mutton.
Okay.
And a sheep would be mutton when served, and lamb would be baby sheep.
Okay.
It would be similar. This would be similar to like an ossobuco from an Italian dish, which would be shank of veal.
Okay.
So the same idea. It's normally more of a tough meat, but if you cook it properly, it is the best.
Because nobody likes to eat the tough meat.
If
you like it to fall right off.
Oh yeah, if you cook it properly, this falls right off the bone. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. I'm going to show you a faster way to do it.
Okay, I'm going to move this so we can see the pretty lamb.
Sure.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, well first what we're going to do is we're going to sear off the lamb. So I want to take this, I want to put it into my, my pan here.
Now explain what you mean by sear off.
What I want to do is add a little bit of texture, crispiness, and add a little different flavor by taking hot oil.
Okay.
Putting oil in a pan, heating it up, and then putting the lamb in here and making nice little marks on it. We're going to get the oil on top.
Is our oil hot?
Our oil is not quite all the way there.
I'm like, it doesn't look like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
No, it should be a little hotter. I don't know if this is heating up as hot as I want it to be. Let me switch to here.
Okay, that'll be good.
Because this is nice and hot already.
And the name of this dish is lamb shank with zesty tomato sauce.
This is our lamb shank dinner from our Create an Entree section. Our Create an Entree section is kind of an innovation on menus.
Okay.
It's basically you can choose what you want. We have a section with main items, so you can pick up to 3 different main items. You'll have your choices all the way from vegetarian items to lamb to our prawns that we did here on one segment. Lots of different dishes, and what it does is it opens people up to actually choose what they want rather than me saying,
this is what you're having.
You get this, you only get these sides, and if you want to substitute, we're going to charge you through the roof.
Well, while we're waiting for that, and I can see it starting to sizzle here, what is Mediterranean cuisine?
Mediterranean cuisine is a mix of Greek and Middle Eastern. We kind of do a play on both. My family is originally from the Middle East. My dad is from northern Iraq.
Northern Iraq?
Yes, and we're actually Chaldean, which is the oldest surviving tribe of the Babylonian tribe.
Okay.
So with King Nebuchadnezzar and the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and the Tower of Babylon.
You get a history lesson when you go in and eat at Saba's, that's for sure.
Originators of lots of different mathematics and the calendar and lots of things that the original state of what we have now.
You're a proud tribe for sure.
Oh yeah. What we have now, then were later taken by the Greeks and turned into what we see today.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun. It's really important to understand where you come from, where the food comes from, and we want to give a history of not only our food, but of our family and our
and it is a family-owned restaurant. I mean, I stopped by there day before yesterday. I saw your sister. I saw your wife. I mean, everyone's there cooking.
Oh yeah, it's my wife, my sister, my mom, my dad. We have a lot of employees that are like family. Basically, we tell them when you get hired in, it's like we adopted you. So
whether you like it or not.
Pretty much, yeah. They don't really have much of a choice about that. So
all right. So how long are we going to cook this?
All what I want to do is I want to kind of crisp the outside a little bit. We want to just sear off the fat, give it a little bit of a color, a little bit of a different texture, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add it into some hot water. We're going to season the water, and we're going to boil it. And we're going to boil it very hard. Once it starts to boil, we want to cover this off and let it cook for about 3 hours.
And that's what's going to make it just really, really soft and tender?
Oh, yeah.
By cooking it that long?
Oh, yeah. You could cook it in a crock pot overnight if that would be something that would work better. If you don't have 3 hours to sit and, make sure that your stove is okay and your house doesn't catch on fire.
Right, that would be good.
Maybe it would be better just to stick it in the crock pot overnight.
Do we want to put the seasoning in here first?
What we want to do is actually the best way to heat water is to add a pinch of salt to it.
Okay.
Because what happens is the salt's going to dissolve into the water, and it actually has a chemical reaction with the water, and it allows it to boil quicker. So
did we already do that?
I already added a little bit in there. It'll boil much quicker than just trying to do still water.
Okay.
So I'm seeing a nice little sear that we got going on here. If you can see the difference in color.
Definitely. And you can
see from when we started. Oh yeah, you can hear it.
It sounds like it's cooking now.
Oh yeah. So what I want to do is I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to switch. I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to switch here.
And then as soon as we get that boiling, we're going to add...
Well, what I can do now is I can add some of the seasonings. I'm going to add a couple of pinches of salt. I know we added a little bit to begin with just to get the water going, but we want to add some for flavor as well, not just for the reaction. I'm going to add a little pinch of some black pepper. I have mint. You can add a couple pinches of mint. Mint is nice. Mint is a good spice that's used throughout the Middle East, as well as for a Greek version of the lamb, mint goes very good as well as cinnamon, especially in the sauce.
Yum.
So you can kind of play with some different spices if you want to do rosemary.
But we're not adding cinnamon.
We're not adding cinnamon today. Not everyone is a fan of cinnamon, so
I
like to kind of leave it up to the people. I added a little bit of basil. We're going to do some oregano, just a little bit here, and then this is cumin. And cumin is associated a lot with Hispanic cuisine, but traditionally, cumin is very popular in the Middle East.
My dad puts this in his chili, so anytime I smell cumin, it smells like chili. Okay, I'm going to let you sort of finish this off. We're going to sort of fast forward this, because we don't have 3 hours, unfortunately, but we're going to let this boil, and then when we come back, you are going to be making your zesty tomato sauce.
Yes.
All right, and we'll talk more with George in just a few minutes.